Hi everyone, my name is Alex Creech with the Creech Crew, and I'm here today with Cheryl from Forever Home Loans. So Cheryl,
Yes.
let's just start with how did you join Forever Home Loans and get into lending?
So how we got into Forever Home Loans is just a few of us got together and we wanted to kind of have our own thing. So we've been in business for about 2 years now.
Okay, excellent. Well, congratulations on that. So my first question about the lending industry is how important is it to pick the right mortgage lender?
Very important. So there's a lot of hats that go into when you buy a home. You have appraisals, you have inspections, you have to get insurance. Good lender is going to be a good middle person for all those pieces. So
Yeah,
you also want to make sure that they communicate well, answer your questions because it can be very stressful, and get the job done in
yeah,
a timely manner.
yes, which is very key.
Yes.
What distinguishes a good lender from a mediocre one?
A couple of the things I mentioned, I think communication for sure. The nice thing about us is we're a broker, so we shop for the best rates for you.
Okay.
So a lot of banks, it's like, this is what you get, and we can't, there's no wiggle room. Whereas we can look at multiple lenders. We shop for the best pricing, the best interest rates for you. So bottom line, lower payments.
And with all the different loans and types out there, it's good to have your options because
Yes.
you might have a couple of options for FHA, you might have a couple of options for VA for jumbo loans.
Yeah.
And going off of the jumbo loan, what makes a jumbo loan a jumbo loan?
It's over the conventional loan limit with which I believe is 729,240.
Okay. Okay. And that's not the purchase price, right? That's the loan limit.
Correct.
So if a purchase price of a home is 730, it's understood that you're putting some money down. So then technically that's not a jumbo loan.
Correct.
Okay. What are the most common issues you see come up?
Well, when honestly, it's when people are just not honest. We're gonna find out if you took out some credit cards or bought a new car, or if your credit's not what you think it is. That's the biggest issue.
Okay.
So we want to help everybody,
Hmm.
but a lot of people up front won't be completely honest.
Yeah,
So
and it's better just to be honest so that that person's getting the real numbers at the right
exactly.
time,
Right.
and there's not a crisis averted at the 11th hour.
Yes.
Speaking to that, what's one of the biggest, hardest obstacles that you've come across as far as, and then being able to solve it and get everybody to the closing table?
So it's usually when it's out of our hands. So let's say appraisal is a good example. Last year, it's not so much now because the market is different, but last year when the market was very all over the place,
Yeah.
appraisals would take a very long time to get done. So it's, you have your clients and the realtors calling you, why aren't we clear to close? Why aren't we clear to close? So if a third party is delaying things, we get blamed for it, unfortunately. So that's a big,
And that's out of your control
exactly.
completely.
But nobody understands.
And you don't
that.
even, no lender gets to pick the appraiser, right?
Correct. So as a lender, we go through an AMC, which they find an appraiser for us. So
Right.
we actually can't communicate with the appraiser directly. We have to go through the AMC.
Yeah. Okay. And that gives it the anonymity and the hands off that you would want your lender to have with an appraiser, which sometimes is frustrating when they don't come out favorable, but
Yes.
that is the system. And what does Forever Home Loans do really well? What's your distinguishing feature or service?
I know I've said it already a couple times, but communication. We always
Okay.
hear that we have really good communication. So
And I like every time I've worked with you, Cheryl, is that you're somebody that I can email or call and get a response. I call the other guys, the big box lenders,
mhm.
and you can't get them on the phone or they don't have the answer. Or every time you call, you're talking to somebody different. And then you have to tell the entire story again of what's happening with the loan.
Right.
And that just gets completely frustrating. As opposed to you, it goes to you and it stays with you throughout the process, and we can reach you whenever we want to.
Right.
So I know Amanda and I are greatly appreciative of that.
Awesome.
Could you explain the difference between a conventional and an FHA loan if we have some buyers out there that are looking for the first time?
Yeah, so conventional is the typical loan if you qualify. It's credit scores are higher. The down payment for a first-time home buyer is 3%. If you've bought before, it's 5%. With FHA, it's if there's a credit issue or something that is lowering your score, that might be a better option because they're a little more lenient. Their down payment is 3.5%. The
Okay.
difference between the two is conventional. You have mortgage insurance, used to be called PMI, for so many years, the first part of the loan, until the loan to value is 80%. That's why they say 20% down is nice, because you don't have mortgage
Then
insurance.
you don't have the mortgage insurance off
Right.
the cuff. Yeah.
With FHA, there's an upfront mortgage fee, and that can be wrapped into the loan. And then there's also mortgage insurance for the life of the loan. So the only way to get rid of that mortgage insurance is to refinance for a conventional loan later.
Yeah. And then I know there's some other differences in there too, but you touched on the big ones. The biggest one that comes to mind as far as a concern for a real estate agent, especially for the market we had about 12 to 13 months ago, is that FHA inspections are a little bit more stringent and stricter when they come through, a lot like a VA inspection. So it kind of, if then they don't qualify, then our buyer isn't able to put in an offer for a home because of that. But ultimately, they are protecting the homeowner, they're protecting the buyer with those stricter.
Right, and that is it's a little bit of a misconception, because the FHA appraisal is actually, it's the stringent things they're looking at aren't big ticket items. It's like, I just had a FHA inspector come or appraisal get done, and they actually just wanted them to put in some smoke detectors, whereas a conventional probably wouldn't catch that.
Okay, so hey, at least that's something small.
Easy.
And that's good. That's good to know that it's a little bit of a misconception too. So see, that's why we're doing these videos, educate myself and you. What are some common misconceptions about lenders or the lending industry? We could probably do a whole video on that in and of itself, but maybe some that come to mind.
That we have total control of what's going on, that it's our fault if you're not approved.
Lenders get a lot of blame, don't they?
Oh, yes. I'm sure realtors do too. But yeah, just if something doesn't go the way it should, it's usually our fault, even though it's not.
Excellent. Well, you answered all my questions. Before we go, is there anything else you'd like to add about yourself or Forever Home Loans or lending?
If you have a client that needs help, if they were told no somewhere, have them give us a call, because we might be able to help them.
Well, thank you very much, Cheryl.
Yeah,
Cheryl
thanks,
with Forever Home Loans. I'm Alex Creech from the Creech Crew, closing deals and heels, and cleats. See you next time.